Hi and welcome to Yoga Today. I'm Grace Dewberry and joining me is Jameson today. In this short video, we'll be showing you lots of wrist work. As you know, in yoga, there's a lot of weight bearing on the hands. It could be something like handstand or peacock, but the truth is with downward dog, plank and side plank, we're constantly placing the weight on our hands and our wrists. So this series of exercises is designed to not only strengthen your wrists, but to also open them up. So go slow, just see how you feel. And whenever you need to take a break, just back away and rest instead. We'll get started on our hands and knees. So Jameson will just come into a tabletop position. Okay. What's important about this exercise is you want to see that your wrists are parallel to the top line of your mat. Okay. Then you'll keep all of your knuckles grounded. The thumb pad will stay grounded as well, but the heel or the knuckle of the thumb may have to lift. Just see how you feel. We'll start with the weight slightly back, meaning that you'll take the shoulders slightly behind the wrist line instead of being perfectly stacked. And then on the inhalation, you'll lift the heels of the hands off the floor and then very slowly place them back down. What you don't want to do is slump them down without control. So again, lift the heels of the hands, keeping all of your knuckles grounded, and exhale, bring them down. Okay, and then lift again, and exhale, bring them down. And try that again twice more. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale. You can see how much control Jameson has bringing them down. Okay, you'll do that one more time on the inhale. You'll hold it this time, and if you're able, start to shift your weight towards your fingertips. And this is where it gets really challenging. Imagine you hovering over a sheet of paper underneath the heels of the hands. Be sure that your breath is still flowing. Take one more breath in, see if you can shift any amount more. And then when you're ready to rest, come into a child's pose. So just push yourself back. And then just to counter that, you'll come onto your finger pads and inflate the backs of your hands and your wrists towards the ceiling or towards the sky, depending on where you're at. And then you can repeat that twice more. So we'll just do it one more time. We'll come up onto the hands and the knees. And I assure you that if you do this every day, you'll notice a huge difference after a week. So again, start with the shoulders, slightly behind your wrist line. Then lift the heels of the hands and with control, bring them down. You can do as many as you want, and you can repeat this as many times as you'd like. And bring them down. One thing that you want to look out for is that you're not back bending and that you're not rounding the spine, that you're also not doing this from your shoulders. So you're not protracting the shoulders or retracting the shoulders, just keeping everything neutral, extending the tailbone back, reaching the crown of your head forward. On the next one, you lift up, hold it, and then play with your weight and see if you can shift it forward without modifying the curvature of your spine. So do your best to keep it nice and neutral. And as you get stronger, you'll be able to shift further way forward. And then take a child's pose again. And come onto your finger pads, just to open the back of the hands once more, letting your head release. Good. Like I said, you can do as many sets as you like of these. Usually I'll do 2 or 3. We'll move on to a different exercise, more designed to open the wrists. So again, when you're ready, you'll come onto your hands and knees, back into a tabletop position. This time, you'll flip your hands around, both at the same time. When we do this, we tend to bring the wrists a little too close together. So see that your wrist is underneath your shoulder, and then see that your shoulder heads are not rolling forward. So keep the collarbones nice and broad as much as you can. Okay, for this one, we'll just keep the spine neutral. You can look ahead and then start to sit back. You can just look ahead, keeping the collarbones broad. And as you sit back, start to lift the heels of the hands off the floor. Keep the fingers grounded, and once your thumbs lift, perhaps even try doing a few circles with your thumbs. It may feel awkward. Just see how that goes for you. Good. Go in both directions. Good. Just pause there. Now try to bend your elbows. And as you bend your elbows, this will intensify a little bit more. Keep the shoulders relaxing down your back. And then very slowly, as you sit towards your heels, peel the entire hand off the ground. And then just do a few sort of shakes to ease that. You could also go forward and back. Good. And then once you've done that, you'll come back onto your hands and your knees once again. Okay, we'll start on hands and knees with a neutral spine. Then you're going to flip your right hand around so that your thumb turns out and inner wrist faces forward. Then flip your left hand around as well, wrists in line, right hand forward, left hand forward, right hand back, left hand back, and then keep going. While you do this on your hands and knees, you're already working to maintain a neutral spine. So the belly is firm. And then you can actually be a little more like cat-like if you're in a mood for it. So you can really lift and mobilize the work in the wrists and keep everything neutral as you breathe. Feel the palm of each hand pressing down. Good. Very nice. Good. The next time your hands are flipped back, just pause there for a moment. Good. And then just shift your weight slightly forward again. Okay, keep the shoulders down and then just a micro bend in the elbow. I don't even want you to go that far, just a little bit, and then push yourself back up like you're doing a push-up. And then bend again and push back up. And do that 3 more times. Each time, try to bend a little more. Take your chest forward and then push back up. And then again, and push that back up. Yeah. And then 1 more time. And push yourself back up. Sit on your heels. Just give yourself a break. Again, shake your hands. If you prefer, you could also interlace your fingers and just do a few rotations. The palms can be all the way together. Great. We'll do a second set. Now you could do this on your knees, or if you really want to work up a sweat, you can come into a plank position with both your hands flipped around. So you could give it a try, and then you could do a few reps, and then if you need to take a break, again, knees can come down at any point in time. So keep flipping. And again, think of that mobility in the wrists, very tactile as you sort of like touch your hands on the floor. And you can go kind of fast even. You can sort of like build up your breath and the flow and pick up the pace quite a lot depending on how your wrists are feeling today. Okay, the next time that your hands are flipped back, pause. And then think of chaturanga. So in chaturanga, when we learn it, we really take the weight forward. So you want to try and go forward. Bend a little, push up, push up, push up. And bend a little again. Okay, we'll just do 3 times. And then bend again. Pause there. Push yourself back up. Flip your hands around. And push back into a down dog. If you prefer, you could take a child's pose instead. Okay, then we'll try 1 more. It's a little bit weird. So you'll come forward into a plank position once again. Flip just your right hand around. And push yourself back into a down dog. See that it's your wrists that are in line. You might not go that far back, so just see. It might feel awkward on your head or where it may fit. And then come forward, flip your right hand around, flip the left hand, and push back again. Good, just to open. So kind of in line with what we've been doing so far. Good, come forward again, flip your hand around, come back into a regular downward dog, push yourself back. Good. Think of the backs of the wrists inflating towards the ceiling and then come down into a child's pose. Let the arms extend forward. And then roll yourself up. Sit on your heels. One of my favorite things to do when I need to do a little bit of a break on my wrists, it's like you think of chicken wings. You just take the backs of your hands towards your side ribs, like you tuck them in, like you're sort of placing them in pockets. And then you let the weight of your upper arm bones just kind of sit towards the wrist. It's always a nice one to do after a handstand or any work like that. Good. One other one that you can do instead of this, you apply a little more pressure. So you could just shift your weight forward as you release your hands. And you tuck one hand right inside your calf and your thigh. But you want to see that it's your wrist that sits there. So as you do that, and you sit, you'll feel all of your fingers curl underneath. But be sure that it's not your hand doing that it's your actual wrist that's being squeezed under. And then you'll do the other side. Some of you may be able to do both hands at the same time. That's always a nice little break. Good, and then as you sit yourself back, it's always nice to also do this kind of work. You'll interlace your fingers, you'll stretch the hands all the way up just to open the wrist. So this is a little simpler and more accessible, but almost think of pressing the entire hand towards the ceiling as you reach up. And then you want to see the other way. You'll switch the interlace of your fingers. So it feels a little bit awkward. You take a different pinky finger below, you interlace, you stretch the palms forward, you take the arms all the way up and overhead. Try to stretch the entire heel of the hand all the way up. Good. And then go ahead and just release. You can do a few wrist rotations. Great. We hope that this helps strengthen and prepare your wrists for all the yoga that you'll be practicing. For more classes, visit yogatoday.com. Namaste.